After months of legal battles, the Supreme Court has ruled that a law banning TikTok in the U.S. can go into effect. In their ruling, the justices said, quote, "We conclude that the challenge provisions do not violate the petitioner's First Amendment rights," end quote. Friday's unanimous decision comes just 2 days before the deadline for social media platform's parent company, ByteDance, to either sell the app or have it banned. President Biden signed the bipartisan bill back in April, but in a statement Friday, the White House said, quote, "Given the sheer fact of timing, this administration recognizes that actions to implement the law simply must fall to the next administration, which takes office on Monday." President-elect Trump had previously asked the Supreme Court to pause the implementation of the law until he could take office and look into a political resolution to keep the app available to American users. CBS News legal contributor and Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson joins me now. So Jessica, are you at all surprised that this was a unanimous decision?
I'm not, but only because I had the benefit of listening to the oral arguments in this case and reading the lower court decision. There was a D.C. Circuit Court decision that said something very similar to what the Supreme Court said today. And I think for people watching at home, it really boils down to two words: national and security. That Congress looked at classified sensitive information, and there was bipartisan support for this particular piece of legislation, and concluded that there was a national security threat by virtue of ByteDance owning TikTok. And what the court today said is, we're really worried about data privacy. The government had actually come forward with two different rationales. One is kind of propaganda and misinformation. The other is data privacy. A unanimous Supreme Court said, yes, we're worried about data privacy. We're worried about it to the tune of it actually infringing on and making us less safe, a national security issue. And they did not think that the First Amendment prohibited this piece of legislation from going into effect.
I mean, there are so many questions about what happens Sunday and beyond. Will users see an error message when they try and open TikTok? Will they just not be able to download it again? Will it eventually become obsolete if they can't run updates? And then you have President Biden and his administration saying that they won't enforce this law. So does that mean TikTok will still be available Sunday?
So there are a lot of questions, as you said, with respect to, what's going to happen on Sunday when it's still President Biden's administration. I think that largely depends on TikTok, because we know that the law actually focuses on app stores, on Apple and on Google that host TikTok. And with respect to what is going to happen to people, if TikTok wants to continue to offer this as a media platform, my understanding is that it could just die a slow death. People will not be able to newly upload it and won't be able to update it. So it will